Good evening, Internet. Welcome back to the Warriors. Why don't we go ahead and get started with a little bit of a workout?
Someone's what's shaking, man?
If that track don't make you want to lay it down, then you ain't got no soul, boppers. In the city tonight, we got word that Pelham was turned upside down in a full-blown game of hide-and-seek. The boys in blue have caught their culprit and are sure he's it. Although they're still asking anyone with information to come forward. Good luck with that, fellas. But the requests don't stop there. The Turnbulls have been pleading with the Riffs to draw up a contract for an outfit that marched in and shut down the AC's set at the Devil. The same outfit is also being blamed for flipping the bird on the wrong side of the tracks. Unfortunately for the ACs, it don't look like Cyrus is sanctioning any type of retaliation at this time. This latest news is fueling rumors that the Gramercy Riffs got something big cooking. I guess we'll all just have to wait and see what it is. In Harlem, the grooves are getting hot as the boppers' funky beats are starting to run up against the hurricane's relentless rhythm. This game is still way too close to call. And finally, boppers, Chinatown's ghost has put his foot down and sent word about an impending martial arts demonstration with the Satan's mothers. Careful, mothers. These guys got moves, and they know how to pump out the hits.
Oh, hey, Warrior. Oh, I'm so hungry. Virgil and the Destroyers burned up the mission. Now there ain't no one to give us a meal. Garbages is emptied like a tiny little bellies. Concern it, Warrior. If you could get us some meals, we'd be forever grateful. Well, hell, we'd even join up with you and knuckle up if you wanted. Just help us out, buddy. Look out for Warrior. Hero for a day.
So, we have our mission. There are 5 bums around Coney Island, and they all need some food. The only thing that's a little bit strange about this is that the hobos actually have some pretty picky tastes. For this very mission, we have a couple food stores open. The one we were just at sells ice cream and donuts, and there's another one at a hot dog stand that'll give out hot dogs.
Fucking alright!
This bum in particular wants ice cream, and I'll go ahead and grab the donut one for later. I don't know, if it was me, I probably wouldn't be in much position to be very picky about what kind of food I'm getting, but, well, I guess I've also never been homeless, so I probably don't have any position to talk on it.
You want a hit of the finest shit?
Right on!
Hey, Warrior, I respect you, man.
The third bum is going to want a nice little piece of chicken to munch on. And then the one we're going to take care of next is going to want a hot dog. And as I mentioned, there is a hot dog stand close to where the... Actually, first, you know what?
Warrior,
Let's get one of the bums a little bit of salami to put in his mouth. Some of these bums have some really high-class tastes.
Come here, pal.
Whoa,
I got something
babe!
that'll change your life.
As I mentioned, the hot dog stand is pretty close to where the entrance to the rest of Coney Island is. Luckily, when you're getting the food, you don't actually have to pay for any of it. You just have to go up to the vendor and hit the triangle button, and you'll get whatever kind of food you're looking at. It's too bad you don't have this option when you're doing turf defense, because I think it'd be pretty nice to bash a donut over the head of somebody.
That's how you do it.
So with that bonus mission completed, we now have access to hobo allies. If we give our hobos some money, they'll join up with us.
It'd be real cool if you could cover my patrol tonight. I don't feel like scouting around. You look like you're itching to soldier, man. Go for it.
So the Satan's mothers have decided to encroach on our turf. And this one is actually a little bit difficult compared to a lot of our past turf defense missions. Two reasons for that. One being is that there are about 20-some Satan's Mothers we need to take out. And the other thing on top of that being that the Satan's Mothers aren't really pushovers. They can do quite a bit of damage in a little bit amount of time.
You think you can beat this? Hell yeah!
Bitch! Scared bitch!
The more
This side, douchebag!
maybe I should get a chin strap.
You sick of crap!
How's the face, chump?
You know how much black Let me show you what you did wrong!
See those reflexes?
Ass.
I'm gonna leave you crying in the street. Your teeth can. How you feeling now? I'm wrecking you good. Stay down.
Hey, pal, what's the big idea?
Just say you.
Look in my eyes, motherfucker! Let's move! Where are you running, huh? Where you running to, man?
They're up. Mess these guys up.
Glad to have you back, buddy. You think you can sneak down here? Where the water?
Maybe I should get a. Let's move. Mess these guys up.
Get that bastard!
No small-time piece of crap.
Shit's about you! Hey, pal, what's the big idea?
Get that. Nice try, lightweight.
Here you go!
Throw in the towel, man. You ain't gonna win.
Glad to have you back, but
Don't hold back, whip. I'm gonna show you a real fight.
It may be a little confusing at first as to where the rest of the mothers are, but if at any point you find yourself at a lack for enemies, just head back to the other side of Coney Island and you're bound to find somebody. Gotta happen. And lo and behold, here they are.
When I catch you, mess these guys up.
Bust them up! Get back here, you little bitch! Come on! Daddy's got somebody wants to shoot shit, pussy! You're dead!
Maybe I should get a chin strap.
Let's rumble these queers! Get wrecked!
Get the hell off these streets. This is warrior turf, jerk. Yeah!
So, having hopefully taught the mothers a little bit of a lesson, let's go ahead and head on to our next mission.
If that track don't make you want to lay it down, then you ain't got no soul, boppers. In the city tonight, we got word that Pelham was turned upside down in a full-blown game of hide and seek. The boys in
I've been talking with the Saracens. Say they've been having a problem with the Jones Street boys. The Saracens got a heavy rep. I think they could get us on the Rifts network. Cowboy, you and Cochise go up to Bensonhurst and meet up with the Saracens leader. His name is Edge and he'll explain everything. This could be our ticket to the meeting, Cowboy. I'm counting on you.
Wedge.
That's right, Warrior. We heard you guys were good. That's why we called you in to help us take down Jones Street. Those fucks been working with some dirty cops who'd love to make our lives miserable. So we're gonna take down 2 birds with 1 stone. Boost a bunch of shit, plant some in the cop's trunk, stash the rest of it over at the Jones Street Boys hangout. You pull this off, we'll put in a word for you with the Riffs. Speak of the devil, there's the JSBs over there. Watch out for the scouts. You don't want to draw too much attention to yourselves.
Cool, man. We got it.
Those JSBs are screwed, man.
Let's get this ball rolling. The Saracens are counting on us. If we can deliver on the setup, we might finally get the kind of rep we deserve.
So, our mission here is fairly straightforward. Generally speaking, since we only have 2 warriors, we want to avoid too much attention. You may notice on the minimap we have some orange blips, kind of indicating that the Jones Street Boys have some scouts out. Now, since they do have the scouts, if the scouts get to raise a warning cry, they'll cause a little bit of trouble for us, but luckily, we can always just go ahead and suplex 1 or 2 before they get the chance to get the word out. One of our missions here is going to be to steal 5 car stereos. And what we're going to do with those car stereos is we're going to plant them inside a crooked cop's trunk to make sure that, you know, the cops get what's coming to them.
Cool. This one look...
Get your hands off my car, or I'll cut them the fuck off!
The interesting complication there being that a lot of times some of the car stereos you try and steal will have some kind of angry occupant around them. There are about 8 car stereos in the level, and for the mission objective we need to take about 5 of them. Now, since this is somewhat of a stealth mission more or less, we won't be seeing way too much combat, but what little we do see, this machete will come in pretty handy. Cowboy is a bit of a one-note character, at least in the pre-movie missions. He doesn't have anything that really makes him stand out, really. Another part of our mission objectives here is to steal 50 pieces of loot from storefronts, and we'll be using that to frame the Jones Street Boys when we get the chance. The obvious complication with stealing from storefronts is that the cops will usually be on hand to, well, try and ruin your fun.
I think I hit the jackpot tonight.
Cowboy's fighting style is pretty similar to that of Fox and Rembrandt, in that his square and X combos are all pretty similar to theirs, and his power moves are all pretty much 2-hit power moves, whereas with the stronger characters like Cochise and Ajax and Swan, you'll see 3 distinct hits during their power combos. Cowboy, Rembrandt, and Fox all usually only have about 2 distinct hits.
Hell yeah!
That's part of the reason I like taking the machete to clear out the scouts to begin with. 1 hit will usually do it.
I'm ready, you good! Warriors! Mess these guys up!
Oh, shit! Another big...
Maybe I should get a chin strap for this.
Hey, man. Nice doing business with you, fella.
So I pick up a lot of spray paint here, and the main reason for that is that there's actually quite a few tags to do. There are 9 tags for our normal bonus objective of just snuffing out any burners we see. And then there's an additional 1 tag inside the Jones Street Boys hideout itself that counts as a separate bonus objective. Luckily, unlike Sharp Dressed Man, since part of the mission objective here is to steal a lot of things, we're not really going to be on a shortage of money, so we won't really have any issues raising money for any flash or spray paint cans we need. In addition, if you do somehow find yourself low on cash, there are a couple spray paint cans hidden here and there. I think there may be about 4 cans lying around the area in total. This level itself can be divided up into about 3 distinct areas. You have 2 main streets along which you'll find some various stores to make your way into and alleviate of their possessions. And then in the middle you'll have a bit of a housing area. The tags are pretty evenly split up between those areas. I'd say they're about 3, 3, and 3 on each side.
Looks good, brother. Solid.
I find the easiest method to take is to take this side of the street first and break into the pharmacy so you can at least get your hands on some flesh if you do find yourself in the middle of too many issues. Now, normally liquor stores don't have too much to steal, but it seems like this expensive whiskey they keep in the cabinets is actually worth about 13 bucks each. So, again, if you're finding yourself low on money, it's pretty difficult, in this level, honestly, to run out of money, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. The main difficulty you may find is, after breaking into the store, if you're a little too anxious to get away from the cops will actually clear out the store of any loot before you can grab it, and that is one good way to screw yourself over on this mission.
Come on out, kid. The crime spree's over. The only loser is you. NYPD unit, cancel the 1064V. Looks all right. Let's move!
And teleporting mailbox.
You like making noise? I'll come out here and I'll make some noise for your fucking head. What's going on out there?
What's the big idea? You know how late it is?
Ain't the Lord say to give it to the meek? I'm on the hog, meek. Look at me. Lucky day for me and for you. Here you go, sport. Take this guy.
What the? You ready to get heavy?
Nice try, lightweight!
Mess
These
these
guys
warriors,
up.
take them down! Man, I was itching for that.
Yeah!
Interesting note is anytime you do find yourself in some kind of panic from enemy gangs or the cops, there are quite a few hiding areas around the level, so if at any point you feel like, oh, I really don't want to fight, they're going to kill me, it's not too hard to find a hiding spot.
Soft on me now, are ya? I find you, you're gonna get it.
Anytime one of the Jones Street boys scout spots you, they'll call out about 4 additional Jones Street boys, and they'll all usually have some weapons. That being said, unless you're playing on the hardest difficulty level, they still don't do too much damage.
Come on, guys. Stick to the shadows.
And since this level has an abundance of flash and money, there's really not too many worries of you ever getting in a real tight situation. So we've stolen our 5 car radios, and now we get a bonus objective to steal all the car radios. So before the level is over, I do have every intention of confiscating the last 3 for my own use.
No, no, no. You gotta get this through your head. I know you ain't too educated, but listen. You ain't gonna get busted, and we'll all profit from it. Turn your heads the other way, take your breaks or whatever, and we'll come in and take the shit. We'll pawn it off, give the cops their cut, and split the rest with you.
Now listen up, punk. I don't mind making some cash on the side, and I don't mind bending the rules any either. But what I do mind is a loudmouth little brat like you disrespecting me.
Come on, Colonel. It's the way these street kids talk nowadays. They aren't properly educated. We're gonna burn
I'll
those
let you in a little
JSBs, man.
secret, all right? The JSBs ain't in need of any money. We do this shit for kicks, like a goddamn hobby. You understand, Grandpa?
You sure got some mouth on you. I'm a World War II vet, you know. If it wasn't for me, you'd be speaking German right now and getting kicked around by them krauts.
You want to get realistic with me, old man? All right, here's realistic.
What are you doing,
I don't even
cowboy?
have
You
to
calling
make
the
it
shots
easy
here,
right
but let's
now.
move.
All I gotta do is give the word. One word. You'll have 20 JS killer fucking bees down here kicking the shit out of you. Stealing everything in this dump and getting away scot-free. And you know why I got that kind of power? Because we own the cops. They work for us. They know how powerful our families are. So if I was you, I'd keep my fat, old, wrinkled mouth shut and start showing me some respect.
You all rested,
So
man?
you two
Better
lose
because
in
we gotta
or
keep
out.
moving. Don't seem like we got too much of a choice here.
We're in, okay? Tomorrow night, 12:30. Everything will be set up and you can just grab it.
College boy over here has actually got some brains. Sounds like we got the beginning of a nice friendship here. All right, we just gotta wait around for our scout to show, and then we'll get things rolling.
So, do you like being in a gang?
Listen, college boy, I ain't one for small talk. That thing I said about friendship ain't true, okay? I was just trying to smooth things over. I don't really want to be friends with either one of you. Business partners, all right? That's it. Just shut up until the scout shows and we still got a deal.
Let's break up this little gathering.
What the hell are you doing here? This place was secure. Get him!
Mess these guys up!
So, that little conversation is generally a pretty good example of kind of how in bed the Jones Street boys are with the local cops here. And, personally, it helps with the job satisfaction, really. Makes me feel a little bit better about framing the cops.
I'm gonna go wild on you, asshole!
So as I mentioned before, there are about 3 tags in each third of the level. And I would say this portion, the second main street, actually has some of the trickier ones. That one I just did can kind of catch you off guard, and this next one actually took me quite a while to find. It's not really so much a case of, oh, this is the part where the game gets really clever with its tag placement, and more a case of the developers, at least just this once, were really pretty inventive with where they place the tags.
So which one of you broads wants to go down to the beach?
This store here is actually a little bit different from the other ones. If you mess up the lockpicking on the back door, then it won't actually set off the alarm, but if you mess it up on either the front door or the door separating the back and the front, in that case it'll set off the alarm. Luckily, Cowboy is pretty great at lockpicking, so in this case it's kind of useful to have him around, especially if just that once you want to get that lockpicking bonus.
We need some down here. Oh yeah.
Now you may notice anytime you break into a store, of course there's going to be a civilian going running for the cops. And I know it's one of the hazards of the job.
That's what I like.
Luckily, it takes a while for the cops to show up, so while that guy's calling the men, I'm going to be able to take care of this tag here real quick.
Baby, we're just getting warmed up. The party's just getting started. I'll take you when I'm ready.
Knows what she likes.
Meanwhile, the cops are going to be occupied in the building there, so why don't we go ahead and take off?
To the shadows. Cool it, man. I'm following your lead. Fucking right, brother. We'll be all city in no time.
So I think with one more store, we should be about set here.
You tried that new flash going around?
Ah, fuck this, man. I'm calling the cops.
Anytime you hear somebody say, "Oh no, I'm calling the cops," you do have a pretty great opportunity to tell your warriors to go ahead and take him down. Luckily in this situation, Cochise is actually pretty useful. I managed to take him down before he gets to the cops.
Come on, baby. Show me some more.
I really don't want to punch the guy, but I also really want the car stereo. Luckily, it only takes about one hit to break up this party, and then you can get your car stereo as much as you want. You notice the person there was already going to call the cops, and you know what, let's go take care of her too. That was the last stereo for this level, and after stealing the 8 stereos, we have our bonus objective completed. I think all it should really take is one more store and we should be set. You do have some options. There are probably 2 or 3 more stores on this section of the main street, but I decided to go for the jewelry store, because why not?
Oh yeah! Let's move!
So we've got our 50 pieces of loot, and we don't really need the money, so let's go ahead and head on to the next mission objective.
Then we'll deal with the JSBs.
Now that we've gotten all the materials we need to place our little frame, let's go ahead and take care of the last tags first, and then we'll plant the car stereos. Fortunately, I get a little turned around here, because with how large the level is, it's pretty easy to get mixed up. But I figure it out eventually.
Looks good, brother. Solid.
Luckily enough, it appears that one camera is all it's really going to take to frame the cops.
Hang out and plant the shit.
And so we shouldn't really have a problem taking care of the Jones Street boys. I mean, if one camera takes care of the cops, we should be able to take the Jones Street boys down with probably a bottle of whiskey, right?
Hey man, I think I can help you.
I've had it with you lazy assholes.
I say we wait a couple months. We wait till our cash rolls in from this deal we got going right now. We'll have so much cash that even the mayor will be eating out of our hands.
Out of my hands, you lame fucks. And we ain't doing any of that shit. I got some big plans. Big like you can't imagine.
Huge, like our bank rolls.
Yeah, right. Huge. Idiots.
Okay, we gotta get those dicks off the balcony. We're fucked. Maybe we can distract them. What the fuck was that?
It's those fucking bums!
They're dead! Man, those dudes are stupid. Time to plant the loot.
And so, as always, the bums save the day. We do have our last bonus tag in here, and this one, as I said, is separate from the rest of the tags in the mission. This one is its own bonus objective. Aside from that, all we have to do is place 4 pieces of loot and various items around the room before the Jones Street boys get done harassing the bums.
I don't think so. Corduroy is what I need. Yeah, corduroy. She's gonna show the boy what she's really got. Stop it in the nick of time.
When you place the last piece of loot, the Jones Street boy in the middle of the room wakes up and he'll be running as a scout to get the rest of them. Luckily, you really don't have to stick around to deal with them. That'll do it for this mission.
Hey! This ain't your turf. What are you doing around here?
Nothing, officer. Just heard the Jones Street boys has some kind of heavy setup. Selling shit real cheap out of their digs.
Oh, is that so? Then why are you telling us?
Those assholes ripped me off, so fuck them. Who needs them?
Okay, we'll take care of it. Now get out of here. We see you in the streets again, we'll bust you. Yeah, we'll bust you. Those dirty little pricks. They're holding out on us? Let's go bust their asses.
So much for those JSBs. Let's go see how this plays out.
I'm telling you, we never saw any of that shit before. We were framed. Look, man, we wouldn't rip you guys off. We ain't stupid. Come on, man, we got a good arrangement going on here. You don't want to do this shit.
What kind of arrangement are we talking about here?
Garrison. This punk is talking crazy. Must have been sniffing glue. We'll take him in.
Open the trunk, Judas.
What? You guys got a lot of nerve,
Now! Well. Just like we thought. You're under arrest.
Hey, look,
Get it,
I got
pal.
no idea how to
You're going downtown.
Hey, this is
Set
bullshit. Come on, you're arresting good cops here. Hey!
Hey. What's up, Edge?
Those rich kids are pretty much finished.
Yeah, thanks. You guys got a pretty heavy set. You know, we've been thinking about inviting you in on this meeting Cyrus is holding. Some serious shit. Only the toughest crews will be there. I think the Warriors deserve it.
We ain't heard much about that. But we ain't really on the Rift's network either. You think we can get in on it, huh? We've been making some waves on the street lately. Got a pretty solid rep going now.
We'll see, Warrior. Saracens will back you up. We got a fair bit of pull with the Gramercy Rifts. So maybe, man, I hope, for your sake. Who knows what the streets will be like after that shit.
Solid, man. We appreciate it.
So, it looks like the Warriors are really starting to work on their rep, and this is a good sign. I hope to see you next time, Boppers, when we start looking at the Warriors going all city. Until then, stay loose, Boppers.